No, that's fantastic. Really interesting, Patrick. Thank you for the great answer.
That's very well said, Patrick. And definitely, I think that there's quite a we're talking about games that people like to play. I think that it's a very wide range there because there are still people that enjoy spending time playing Candy Crush or just some solitaire, maybe, right? And then there's the others who are more hardcore, who want an actual experience, a triple A game. And I think that there's definitely something for everybody. And but I agree that quality generally is very important when it comes, especially to these big multiplayer games. So you mentioned about play to earn. I didn't remember. I didn't understand completely, Patrick, if you said pain to earn, but that's a good expression.
No, no,
Um,
no, no. Pay. I said they have the feeling that they pay to earn to start with, like with Axie Infinity. So, but it needs to be play to earn, and we need to give the gamers this feeling of play, not pay.
I agree. I agree. And there's uh, especially when it's a good game, then it's there's no pain to earn. But since you mentioned it, guys, I would love to learn because generally when it's when you're earning, most of the time this means a fungible token, the utility token of the ecosystem. So what are some of the unique dynamics that you are considering between the project fungible token and the non-fungible tokens? um, KoalaKlub, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and kick it off. So, yeah, we're kind of obviously combining the two aspects in regards to our play to earn game. So, obviously, we wanted our game to be, very accessible. So, whether you own any koalas or not, you'll still have access and be able to play the game. Now, if you want to earn some of our, fungible tokens, so like, our native tokens called koala hash coin, then essentially would need to own like at least one koala. So the way kind of our project setup is, we already have our native staking set up, through main stage creator tools. So shout out to Dead Poet Society. If you haven't looked into that, awesome option. But basically, if you own any koala in your wallet, as long as they're not listed, bi-weekly you get fungible tokens deposited into your account. Then at that point, if you wanted to play our game, you either pay one, two, or three tokens, depending on which difficulty level you're playing on, whether you're playing the computer or matched up with another person. Um, Essentially what we'll do is, the money, or not the money, sorry, the utility token will be sent to, essentially like an escrow wallet. So both players will match up to each pay, let's say, one token. 90% will go to the winner match. The other 10% gets put back into the liquidity pool for the game. So that way it's not dried out so quickly. Now, to kind of provide further utility besides just, the token itself, that's where our token gating and a separate spinoff collection, so the 256 NFT collection I talked about earlier, that's where that's going to come into play. So we plan on hosting monthly tournaments for our users. So if you own one of those 256 NFTs, then you'll have access to that monthly tournament where it will be almost 20,000 H-bar worth of prizes for the top 16 participants. So it'll basically just be like a NCAA tournament style bracket. You get matched up with someone. If you win, you advance. And obviously, there's H-bar prizes for them. But even if you're not involved in that tournament, if you're simply just playing the game, and you're only earning our fungible token, then obviously there's other utility that you could use, with our token. So whether that's, buying whitelist for our Gen 3, buying some Koala Klub merchandise. Obviously, once we launch our liquidity pool and saucer swap, you'll be able to yield farm with that. In addition, we're setting aside, specific and certain amount of koalas from Gen 2 as well as Gen 3 that will be strictly purchasable through our native token KHK. So that's kind of how we're tying in the whole fungible token and non-fungible token into our player and gaming as a whole.
That sounds very well thought out, and I think that the tournament style bracket that should be the talk of the town when it comes about. Definitely, I guess the Qualified Club is something that people talk about. Um, Sorry for the bad joke, guys. Patrick, would you like to take? Uh,
I was like, you're not supposed to talk about it, but I guess we are talking about it. So.
There's no such thing as a bad joke. We just it's good, Even a bad joke, if people laugh at you, people laugh. People laugh with you, they laugh too. So who cares? People laugh at me all the time, so I got used to it. So anyway, so our Steam token, a utility token, will be used in game to drive our in-game economy. So it makes sense, of course. You can see you can use it in the game to buy new NFTs or pay with it in. Excuse me. To use actually also in-game travel. So that's something that we like to incorporate there as well. But also other aspects in the game. There's so much that we can do in our metaverse, of course. So you'll be able, for instance, to own a shop. People can buy your NFTs, or some might be very lucky and get a bank early because they're quite scarce as well. Generate staking rewards there. Another way to generate Steam tokens is to rent or lend out your NFTs, maybe to gamers that will onboard later. Because if you have other players play with it, you can share in the profits. You sit back and have them enjoy your NFTs. So, but the simplest way actually to earn is actually just walking on the map and try to find lost tech, and you can do that as well without. You don't need to own an NFT to start in our gameplay, of course. So you don't need to pay to start, but you just play to start. So that's great. What you could do is then find lost tech, for instance, or special rare animals. Then you can upgrade them by combining them, or if you have lost tech, you go with your animal to a pet shop, and in the pet shop you combine them together. It's a sort of crafting, and we're actually trying to see where we can do more of this stuff. So many more possibilities, but it's too long to say everything, and we don't have too much time. Can we stretch it with an hour? This Twitter space, is that an option?
Yeah, of course. I don't know about Tudor, but I'm happy.
No,
about as long as you like.
Don't let me determine the rules, okay? But yeah, I can have some.
No, there are no rules. No rules at all. I know. I don't think Tudor will mind. I don't think he ever sleeps, to be honest. So no, I'm happy to go over the hour. Definitely, we got a lot of interesting questions for you guys. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Patrick? Or
you want me to go on even further?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Let some others do some speaking too. I would like. I see H by Joe on the top of the list, and I see Spot and my team. I want to say hi to them, but let's get back to the storyline.
Yeah, definitely say hi. Hello, everybody. Again, anyone that wants to pitch in, ask Koala Klub or Patrick from Earthlings any questions about the projects, feel free to, and we'll be sure to pass you the mic. But moving on and talking of gamification, so what forms of gamification do you plan to use to create demand and increase interaction on your platform? And I'll start with you, Patrick.
You sure? Because I was the last one speaking, right?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Wait a second. Yeah. So no, I'm back on track. I just had to think what was the question again. Yeah. So because we touched on this a bit already, I think. So yeah. Well, actually, we want to open the gameplay a bit more than just mining for new NFTs. Simple Axie gameplay. No hate for Axie, by the way. It's just a good example. But we don't want to be the next shooter or racing game, but we want to be we actually strive to be the first. To also add quests and create sceneries where you will really feel like you're in a different world. What other great big games are doing as well. So trying to give a gaming experience, for everyone actually. Like when I was younger. Yeah, no, I'm not that old. So but when I was younger, Age of Empires, that's something that I really liked playing a lot of years ago. I loved how you could expand your buildings, improve on your items, your infrastructure. And attacking the enemy was fun too. But there won't be any much aggressive gameplay. But that'll come up. That wasn't too aggressive. Right? So this is something that we really like to do. Another game that I really want to point out, I found out through my nephew actually, that's Subnautica, and maybe not everyone knows about the game, but this is a great example of gameplay. You find yourself in a big, immense underwater world, and you see all of these big fantasy creatures, and if you then go into it. It sounds boring, but go and play it. It's sold 5.3 million times. It shows that family friendly gaming is very hot still, and it's actually gaining ground still. But the thing is, they have awesome scenery. It's family friendly, and you're swimming on the water, nothing's the matter, and all of a sudden this big giant creature comes up with you, and with the environment and the music around you, you really feel in there. So that's gameplay. That's really getting you into the game. So these things are unseen until now. Well, we still have to build it. Okay, it's not tomorrow, and it's all these facets of gaming that we really like to incorporate for the first time in these projects. But it's ambitious. We know that. So please don't ask me to finish it tomorrow. But
I'll take your time, Patrick.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So yeah, but the thing is, we are an ambitious project. We know that. The team knows that. But yeah, we're here to stay. We're not giving up. We're gonna build this thing, and we intend to build it on Hedera, so that Hedera, in let's hope not too long, will have the best metaverse gameplay there is, and that will set Hedera on the map.
Yeah, I've no doubt about it. I'd love to hear the vision you have for things. And did Maul or Koala Buck want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and chime in on that. So, yeah, I mean, as far as, gamification and things we plan to use to, incentivize players to play the game and to interact with the project in general and create demands, obviously with our fungible token and eventually launching, like I said, that liquidity pool and saucer swap, I think that'll definitely drive some demand towards the game. So, 20% of our supply for our fungible token is going to be strictly dedicated to the play to earn game itself. So, 20%, the only way you can earn that is through playing matches and winning matches, whether it once again against the computer or against other team members or members within the community. Like I mentioned before as well, obviously the monthly tournament that we'll be hosting with, a lot of HBAR prizes. So the top 16 participants would earn HBAR if you place. First place, I think it's about 10,000 HBAR. And then the other 19 and some change gets split amongst the other 15. So, not only is it kind of, like I said, creating camaraderie within the community, a lot of competitiveness, but, there will be some incentive to actually play the game as well. In addition to kind of help, create and increase a lot of demand for the game. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but, a couple hours ago, we did announce like an official partnership with Blade Wallet, who does have a lot of experience within the gaming and play to earn industry. So they already have a very successful game, Slime World, I believe it's called, that they've already integrated their native token. It's easily distributed through the wallet itself. So, we mainly decided to partner with Blade Wallet just because they're not necessarily only focused on the Hedera NFT space, but they're also focused on, in general, like Web3. So, they're really focused on the fashion, art, music and media and entertainment industries. I think at this point they have at least 16 or 17 official partnerships, and they have a lot more that they're going to be announcing over the next couple of weeks and months. That's going to give us, great exposure to a lot of different members that are maybe Web 2 based, but are looking to get into Web 3. So hopefully that should bring in, potentially upwards. They said, they have about 1 million plus people within those brands that will be basically cross-pollinated and marketed too. And with a heavy focus on, Latin American and Asian markets. So, that's kind of one thing that we did notice within the NFT space. It's kind of a good thing and a bad thing, where it is very close knit and it's very small. And I think we're looking to obviously expand the network and expand the community. So, what are some ways that we can do that? So I think that, with this official partnership with Blade Wallet, it's going to bring in a lot of people that maybe haven't been paying attention to Hedera and put some eyes on the arena and the ecosystem. So, by doing that, by hosting, obviously, the monthly tournaments with HBAR prizes, and then obviously having kind of the fungible token aspect where you can use that for, DeFi purposes, which has really helped catapult the Hedera ecosystem over the past couple months. I think there's definitely some reasons why we'll see some increased demand and people wanting to play the game.
Definitely, yeah, I did. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tudor.
I was just going to say that sounds amazing. Congratulations on the partnership with Blade Wallet. And I think that you were spot on over there, Maul. I think that should really touch the masses and really increase the exposure for your project as well as Hedera as a whole. And I never cease to be amazed by first of all, both your team's passions in building valuable projects, but also for the empowerment that Web3 provides for projects such as yours, where crowdfunding and communities empower passionate builders who have an imaginative vision to actually build something that earlier on was restricted to uh, big companies and people who had really the financial backing to see their vision come to fruition. So it's great that we're in this position here today in Web3. Celestial Being, thanks for joining us as a speaker. It's good to see you. Do you have a question?
Yeah, do you guys can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, my question is like a general to both developers. I just want to know, so long term, do you guys see your game expanding? Like how you have like Fortnite, where you have like different expansion packs and different characters being added. Do you see that as well for you guys in your space, or you're just like we're just gonna build this one type of game and maybe slight updates, but then it's just gonna be a pretty just like we're gonna build it all out at once.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question, Celestial Being. So I'll go ahead and tackle that one first. I would say initially this is kind of a proof of concept play to earn game for our project. It's a bit more simple, like I said, just kind of a player versus player fighting style game. So there's not going to be really any like skins you could buy to upgrade your characters or additional weapons or anything like that. Really, it's just going to kind of come down to the competition of playing once again versus each other. Now, I would say long term, if the game is successful and becomes a big hit and we see a lot of engagement with it, then we do have some plans further on down the road. I maybe don't want to give away too much yet, but it would probably be another play to earn game that we would come up with that would hopefully incorporate not only our project but a lot of different their NFT projects within the community. So that way we could get some other projects involved. So if this is successful in its launch, then there are plans down the road to do another game, a little bit different style.
Shall I tackle it from my side then too?
Awesome, that's very exciting, Mal. Yes, definitely go for it, Patrick.
Okay. Yeah, I think in our case it might be a bit easy because we already have this. These avatars and the NFTs that we are building now already. We will have them. Well, what I said with the crafting, we will have these add-ons, but also the players. You can add, just like I guess what you said, Fortnite or Overwatch, one of the two you named. You will be able to upgrade your avatars, your animals, even your vehicles. And the thing is, we'll be having to build for a long time. So we'll begin with simple gameplay, but we will continue building year after year after year because we want to incorporate more and more and more different game strategies and try to tackle as many possible players actually. What I said, you got some that like quest, others like more of a collectible gameplay. Others are actually less gamers and really come for the play to earn. So yeah, we will still continuously build and upgrade to it. I hope that answers the question and I didn't get it wrong. But we will never stop building, I think.
Thank you. That explains a lot. Yeah, and it's two different time of game developments that you guys are going after. I appreciate the answer. Thank you
guys. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you for being. Great question and great to hear the vision these guys have. Never stop building.
And it's great that we have projects today that are tackling the same play to earn subject of the day, but also the vision that they're implementing it is very different, but gives us a more cohesive vision of the play to earn and metaverse space being built on Hedera. King Solomon, thanks for joining us as a speaker. Do you have a question?
No, I wanted to hop up and just listen in, but when we see these spaces filled out with speakers, it generally gravitates more people to join into spaces and it's awesome what you guys are facilitating. I did want to I'm not as familiar with HeadStarter, so I definitely want to hear from you guys. I did want to mention to Earthlings, I'm super pissed. The last one on Dropper, I missed because I have the founder's pass or whatever. And then I did the second one. And the third one of the dudes in my Patreon was like, make sure you go and mint your Earthlings. And I went on the day after, and it went from Founders Pass to early access to public. I'm curious, is there a way on Dropper to have the Founders Pass like facilitate all the way through, even throughout early access, or does it cut off with because like there's those 3 different tiers, right? And this is nothing against you guys. That's totally on me. I'm just curious, like what Dropper's settings are, and if there's a way to facilitate, that in any way whatsoever.
Man, you scared me there for a bit because you said, "Oh, you were super pissed." I'm like, "Oh no, what did I do?" No, but let me get this right. So you're asking if we will always if we will always drop NFTs through their whitelist spots through their platform. Am I getting this right, or did I get that wrong?
Yeah, sort of. So with the last drop that you guys just did, right?
Yeah.
There was time frames set up where if you were a founders, basically like a founders pass holder, and I forget what it's called because I hold one of those.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're a founders card holder, I think you had the first 24 or 48 hours or whatever it was. But then it went from founders card to early access. And if the founders forgot to mint and it was the early access portion, the founders were no longer able to mint because it just transitioned directly into early access, and then early access transitioned into public.
Yeah, that's where I got you wrong because, early access, I just had the next whitelist as a word in my head. So yeah, okay, continue. Sorry. And that.
No, yeah, that was my question though. I'm curious if like the founders card holders would have the ability to mint all the way through until the public mint, just in case those founders potentially miss the founders portion of it. And if not, totally understandable. I mean, it's my fault for missing it, but it's one of the things that I definitely missed, and I was like, shit.
Send me a direct message. Maybe we can make something up. But the small guys and the big guys are as important to us both. But anyway, so not pulling ranks here. That's what I'm saying. But no, the thing
Patrick,
is, we gave them. Yeah, sorry.
I think you have backup from Hedera Dev.
Great! Yeah, come on, Milan, back me up. Now we're with 2-2. Thanks, Milan.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hi, King Solomon. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I'm Milan, Hedera Dev, also part of the team of Earthlings. So yeah, I mean, definitely, it's this whole whitelisting stuff is definitely one to address as how do you say that as best as possible, I think. So obviously with the founder cards you have like this 24 hours spot. Well, in the beginning you have a head start of 24 hours. But I mean, obviously we're still trying to find the right balance. Is it possible? I mean, obviously I think in a technical point of view, yes, it probably is possible. But we're quite specific, we're quite how do you say that? We're quite specific in how we would like to launch to everyone. And then, for example, we have a limit of 2 mints, for example. I can't remember if it was the case with the airship or not, but a limit with 2 airships for the founder card holders. And then with the whitelist, you have only 1, so it's mixing a lot of different variables, and kind of trying to avoid, in the beginning, to reduce any factors of errors. We try to really separate those whitelists, and it's the same. Initially we had the Realm founder cards holders and the whitelist. We had at the same moment, but there the issue was that we wanted to have everyone who was on a whitelist to have this their spot secured. So we had 400 spots for the whitelist, the general whitelist, and we had 400 people, right, for that whitelist. And then we wanted to combine that with the Realm founder cards, but we had only dedicated 150 ships for I think it's about 700 Realm cards passes. So those are really things like, okay, in the beginning we have to make sure that these little errors don't how do you say that, mess up a mint. So yeah, sorry you missed it. And generally, if people reach out to us, we always keep a margin, and we're always happy to provide in any way. So yeah, as Patrick
It's
said,
my fault
reach out.
totally that I missed it, by the way. Like, my fault totally, because I had somebody flag me. And I try to look at so much different stuff on a daily basis that it's almost impossible to catch everything from different ecosystems. I've been a big fan of what you guys are doing with Earthlings, and even with HeadStarter and you guys. Like, I don't hold anything right now, but like, I've paid attention to what you guys are facilitating. It's like we keep coming back to the same thing, where it's like almost impossible to keep on top of everything going on, not only within one ecosystem but all the ecosystems. And I actually have a really good idea now that we've had this conversation about something that might be able to facilitate a little bit more of that. Like, I know Mass was laughing, but it's like I'm just thinking on the top of my head. There's ideas around, like, I mean, fuck, how cool would it be if there was legitimately like a calendar that people facilitated within Hedera community initiatives on a monthly basis, where everybody, it was publicly posted across multiple different projects, and everybody could stay on top of everything going on within every project in the ecosystem. And not only that ecosystem, but multiple ecosystems. So that's where my head's at right now. But yeah, HeadStarter, I guess the question for you guys is, I know you guys are facilitating Launchpad aspects within Hedera. Number one, I would love for you guys to come up next Wednesday, if you guys want to, onto the Twitter Spaces we're trying to do, and give you guys a forum. Number two, like, what has been the experience so far within Launchpad initiatives? And I guess really, like, what are some of the incentives for projects to, want to launch on HeadStarter's platform versus, bootstrapping it out themselves, or X, Y, and Z? So
Thanks a lot for the questions, King Solomon. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible, just to stay on topic for today's Hedera Ecosystem Spotlight series with Koala Klub and Earthlings. But the gist of things is that HeadStarter is a launchpad that is particularly focused in the immediate future for IDOs, which is initial decentralized offerings for fungible tokens, and we have a thorough vetting process of the projects before they would be selected to run their public sale on HeadStarter. On top of connecting these projects with decentralized funding from the community in exchange for the public sale of their token before listing. We also will be announcing pretty shortly details about our accelerator program, where some of the projects that are earlier on, still building, still need to tap into some services for them to reach maturity. They be able to do so, and also access funding through the accelerator program as they grow and ultimately reach the time when they are mainnet ready. So that's the gist of things. We launched, I think, in June, July, our fungible token HST, and we've spoken to more than 110 projects that are looking to launch on Hedera to date. We couldn't be more excited for the future, and we want to give an awesome platform for such innovative projects like Koala Klub and Earthlings in spaces such as this one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely don't want to take away from Koala or Earthlings. So, I guess the question for Koala and Earthlings, like, are you guys, or Koala, are you guys utilizing with the Gen 2? Is that going to be, facilitated through HeadStarter, or where are you guys going through? And I'm not as familiar with you guys, Koala Klub, but like, can you talk a little bit about your project? I guess for me, and I'm sorry to be like stingy. Like, when I come into these spaces, like, I just want to learn as much as possible about every project. So like, Koala, it'd be awesome to hear you talk a little bit about the project, like, so I can learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah, no, really appreciate the question, King Solomon. So, thanks on hopping on and bringing some attention to the space here. But yeah, as far as our Gen 2 is concerned, we'll be launching on Zeus. Obviously Launchpad. So, kind of a little fun fact, a little history. We were actually the very first project that utilizes Zeus's Launchpad. So we've been out of the space for a little bit, just because we haven't had a launch or a mint since all the way back in late February. So once again, like, kind of I was joking around earlier, 6-7 months since we've had our last mint. Between Gen 1 and Gen 2, it is like 6 or 7 years in the Hedera NFT space. So just really excited, obviously, to get our launch going this Saturday. So, we have 250 whitelist spots that have already basically been taken up. There should be at least, another 550 that will be available for public launch, which will be at 2 p.m., like I said, this Saturday, the 8th. So, hopefully you'll get an opportunity and maybe you can mint one if you're lucky and quick enough. But yeah, I mean, besides that, as far as the project's concerned, just a little backstory, kind of like Buck was mentioning earlier. We were definitely one of the first projects, within the Hedera NFT space. We launched back in November 2021. As far as our Gen 1's concerned, over 1.5 million HVAR been traded on secondary markets between a couple different side collections that we have as well. The collection itself for Gen 2 is going to be 2022. 1,800 of those will be mintable. The other 222 will be set aside for staking purposes, farming purposes, marketing giveaways, things of that nature. Besides that, once our Gen 2 is done minting, we should be launching a liquidity pool, on Saucer Swap. So obviously kind of dipping our toes into the Hedera DeFi space. After that, as far as kind of the roadmap is concerned, then we'll start production on our spin-off collection, which is called Koala Klub, which is going to basically be a collection of 256 NFTs that will grant you access to monthly tournaments that we'll be hosting on our play to earn game, which hopefully we should start developing here within the next month or two. Just once we kind of, dot our I's and cross some T's and finalize some paperwork with the gaming studio. And ideally that the play to earn game will be launching probably late Q1 or some point in Q2 of 2023. Besides that, we're looking for, our Gen 3 launch will probably be Q1, give or take. So, we've got a lot of things in the pipeline. We're also exploring, obviously a partnership with some koala sanctuaries. So we're doing a lot of research in sanctuaries down in Australia. We're very heavy community-driven projects. We donate 2% of all of our profits to charity. So since the beginning of 2022, we've already donated over $15,000 to charities around the world. And, we really hope to continue to do that, obviously with the successful launch of Gen 2 and Gen 3, where roughly about 2% of our royalties will be going to charities. So I didn't take up too much time, gave you a quick little rundown, but if you got any more questions, feel free to fire away.